I've titled here Open Table, which, if you recall, if you were here in April, Joseph, I believe it was you who gave that preview of the possibility of resolution on Open Table, which has come to mean opening access to communion, Holy Eucharist, to people who are not baptized, okay? Where that resolution ended up is not something that even has Open Table in the title of the resolution, but as you see, access to Holy Baptism and Holy Communion. The resolution number is C029, and I'm just going to read it to you because there's only 4 lines in this resolution with a much lengthier explanation. You all can pull this up when you go to the website. It says, resolved that the House of Bishops concurring that the Episcopal Church affirms that baptism is the ancient and normative entry point to receiving Holy Communion, and that our Lord Jesus Christ calls us to go into the world and baptize all peoples. So what began as the possibility of a true open table resolution became this, and if that puts any of you at ease. But I know we'd like to hear any relevant discussion here. And we haven't heard from some of our friends down the way. Friends, do you have anything for us? Mike, come on.
Let me say one thing, and that's which is very interesting, and that's something that I didn't know when I went. The titles of resolutions cannot be changed. And so there were several resolutions that were entitled Open Table. And it's interesting that the committee eventually ended up choosing this one that was entitled Access to Holy Baptism and Holy Communion, as opposed to one that was entitled Open Table. And that was a little piece of the legislative process that I didn't understand until I was already there. So the title, once the resolution's offered to General Convention, that title is the same no matter what. So that's how it went from Open Table to Access to Holy Baptism.
That's right, and Bishop, I know you have something to say, but also if you can, there is a box when you go to that website. You don't have to go to the box to enter an actual resolution number. If you'd rather enter a topic, you can go to the box above it and just put in Open Table, and you'll see all of the resolutions that were filed. And so again, if you like all that legislative back knowledge, you can do that too by topic, not just by resolution number. Okay. Bishop?
The discussion in the House of Bishops on this one was really quite fascinating. I actually expected it to be far supported. Well, it came to us from the House of Deputies with an additional resolve that was creating space for pastoral exceptions. And I was actually quite amazed at how strongly and how broadly in the House of Bishops across what would normally be different theological lines, there was unity around taking that line out. Because the bishops felt that this is, I think one of the bishops whose testimony on this surprised me the most said, we just have to say no. It was really quite remarkable, the breadth of folks who said that, because this being a dominical sacrament, that our right to redefine a dominical sacrament was really what was brought into question, and the bishops really overwhelmingly, I think maybe 10 bishops voted against the amendment removing that line. It was overwhelmingly in support of this statement, which actually makes it stronger than it was before.
Yes.
And so this was one of these resolutions that, having come from the House of Deputies, the bishops amended it and then it went back. And it had to go back right the last minute, didn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I think this was one of the very last things that Convention looked at. But there was really a sense that the bishops wanted to assume a much deeper teaching role on the relationship of Holy Baptism to communion, and to talk about open baptism as a concept more than open table.
Bishop, tell them about, I think it was the Bishop of Rhode Island, and she stood up and she held up a little banner. Remember that said that?
Oh, I forgot what it said.
Open baptism.
What's that?
Open baptism.
Oh, that's right. She had that's right. She had created a banner that said "Open Baptism." The Bishop of Rhode Island. It was good. There was really strong sentiment on that.